Alright, today is the day. This is when we start the tear down of the Supra. It's going to get completely tore apart, engine and everything out, everything separated. We've got boxes of everything over here. We've got my new turbo manifold, we've got a radiator and fans, we've got intake, gaskets, turbo, wastegate, we got all of it. And in 2 days, the T56 will be here, so the whole car is changing completely. Not only that, but right here in this drawer, we have my custom harness that I'm going to be building, just like I built for the white Supra and my EMU Black. So, with that being said, it's time for the Supra to undergo a massive change, and we got to start by completely removing everything. And I am extremely excited to do this. As you guys can see, this is a very old-fashioned style retro build that was obviously, you know, retro built. So we got to start this process. I've been putting it off for a minute, but it is time to pick it back up and full send. Starting to get the bumper undone here, trying to be as slow as possible with it. Got the fan blowing on there. We just drove it, wanted to take one last time to drive it before we tear it apart. As you can see, the old-fashioned precision starting to get to where we're being completely naked here. The distributor and stuff halfway taken apart. I'm going to the other side of the car here so I can disconnect the bumper from over there. We don't really have much options for fender cover deals, so I just kind of did some bubble wrap, and we're actively trying to not lean on it. Basically, he's got his clothing touching it, which we are being very anal about the paint job on this, because like the white Supra, it's mint. And unlike the white Supra, everything shows on this. Trying to do everything we can to avoid having anything touch the paint, just so that way it can stay pretty. Doing this will at least save it, so like if we do lean on it, it's not going to hit the paint. So this is actually up against the paint, but in one spot, it can't rub it. Rubbing it is the issue, not touching. We got the fuel rail and everything off there, throttle body. It turns out this intake is very, very good. So it's a VirtualWorks intake. And we got an AccuFab throttle body, which I guess that this throttle body is mega expensive because I just looked one up and they're like $500. And we got this fuel rail here. These are my injectors. The fuel rail will go with the intake, but it's a decent rail too, nice and polished, and it's got some AN fittings. I like it. Very expensive setup. I really didn't expect how much the stuff is. So VirtualWorks basically converted a lower runner for the GE head and then put a nice sheet metal aluminum intake for a front-facing intake manifold, and it looks good, and it's fantastic quality. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty. Got the coolant drained. We're not going to drain the oil until the engine's out. It's just there's really no point doing it right now. It's not like the engine oil's going to come flying out of the engine when we're jacking it out of there. Dropping the downpipe on the turbo. Got the clamp and stuff undone here. It's actually in two pieces, so there's another V-band clamp at the very bottom of the downpipe, so the downpipe is separated. Intake's off, obviously. Wiring harness is moved. Basically all that's left is do any engine grounds and the transmission mount, and we're gonna leave the drive shaft in the transmission when we pull it out, just so that way the fluid doesn't leak everywhere. We're going to unbolt the turbo and the manifold and then bolt mine on there to do like a fitment test, just to kind of see if there's anything that we're going to need to order, so that way we're not waiting until it's all finished and then later on be like, oh, it's coming from freaking Saturn and it's not going to be here in time, so then it's a longer wait to have the car ready to go. So going to do a test mock-up fit with the new manifold and turbo and stuff here in just a moment. I'm going to drop this all the stuff off here. That looks freaking amazing. This manifold is really, really nice. We've got nice tubing placement, so I can clock this turbo wherever I want. There's plenty of room for actual drain and everything, so I can run the drain properly. Just everything, like just the collector and stuff is just in a really good spot. The wastegate placement's not bad, and I was really debating on doing a recirced wastegate. So if we can get to that point, do the research. If we can get to that point and I can find some proper flexible stuff, we should be good. But I've got this set in here for some fitment. Once we take this off here, that's it. I think we got some coolant lines on the back of the head to disconnect, and then some engine grounds. So just do a quick little look over here, make sure everything is disconnected, Then we'll drop the drive shaft, the trans, undo the engine mounts, and she'll come out. And I'll take the hood off, of course. But I think we're good. Man, that setup looks really nice. You're not even listening, bro. Transmission's down. Shifter's out. We're about to take the hood off. Engine is ready to come out of there. Engine mounts and everything are all unbolted. So as soon as we get this hood off, we'll scoot the car back, at least somewhat. And oh man, I gotta dig out my freaking engine hoist. And I think we'll be able to pull it out of there. Shouldn't be too bad. Be about like the white car. It's not that big of a deal. The only thing is the freaking dang drive shaft that likes to, I have to leave behind it so that way we don't leak gear oil everywhere. It makes for a good seal. There she is. Wasn't so bad getting it out. Having a drive shaft in there isn't really it doesn't make it any easier, but it does help make zero messes. So all the gear oil is still inside the gearbox, but all the coolant is laying on the floor, so that's good. But now we can really start looking at this. Looks like rear main seal is definitely leaking. Quite a lot of stuff we're gonna be changing here. Some of these lines and stuff, like this guy, it's just obviously there because they didn't want to use caps, which is fine. I'll probably take this off and I'll weld that shut, and then we'll do the same thing with that one. I'll weld it shut. We'll weld anything shut that's not necessary or needed on this build. But there we go. We're gonna put it on the engine stand. Gotta find some bolts. I have some somewhere. We ripped this thing completely apart. Engine looks about as what I would expect. Final moments of this. We gotta take this gear off, some other components. We gotta take this pan off, switch over the oil pumps, but obviously in between all this, it's gonna be a lot of cleaning, wire wheeling, painting, trying to make it all look pretty and everything. Also, this thing's got a freaking like block heater. I've never seen anything like this before. And I'm obviously just gonna leave it there because it don't leak, and I'm not trying to mess with it. Got this Supra all prepped. We got some of the stuff picked up here. A lot of the stuff is now up on shelves. We got some area to walk, or some room to walk around in. Got to make some room for the T56 and stuff, and got to get rid of that GTR bumper in the box. There's just a lot of stuff. We got some very old-fashioned Powerhouse Racing stuff, and obviously the Virtual Works intake. So I will give away this very old setup, very 2000s-esque. Right now we got the simple green, and we are going to be spraying the engine bay of this car, getting it all cleaned up and prepped for the new setup going back in. All right, this block is tore all the way down. Pans and everything are off. They're right outside. We got to clean them, clean all the RTV and stuff off of them, pressure wash them, get them all nice and pretty again. This guy right here, got it about all set. I'm gonna take off the knock sensors and stuff, and then we will paint the block. We got to do some brake clean on here, get this all cleaned up, and do some wire wheeling to get some of this stuff here, and should be nice. All right, guys, so I want to kind of end this video off. I took delivery of some stuff, and yeah, all the stuff is here now. This is a real big mess over here. Yeah, I got a lot of stuff for the Supra. Obviously, we did a lot. We did a lot this video. Took the engine out, got it tore all the way apart. Obviously, just doing some cleaning and stuff. Everything looks great. I mean, like this bottom end just looks perfect. I got some pumps and stuff. We were gonna do the full in-depth put together build here. I know that this one was kind of bit and pieced together, pulling it out and everything, but I want to be in depth with it, so I will set my tripod up and stuff after the fact. I apologize if I look like poop. I just got off work, so yeah, I didn't make an outro for what I was filming because I was waiting for this to kind of give you guys some maybe some motivation to work on your own stuff. And yeah, here we go. We got the T56 for the Supra, and actually we got dang near everything. So got some fuel stuff on the way. This car is gonna be completely changed. But there it is, guys. Hope you guys freaking enjoyed this video. We are freaking really pushing this car along now. But that's it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hit the like button if you like it. Dislike it if you dislike it. And I'll catch you guys later.